Greetings and welcome to Die presents the Grimstone Chronicles Season 2, Episode 16. I am your DM and host, Marty, joined by the full Ontario crew. How is everyone doing? And wait, let me make your microphones muffin warm. They are warming.
Is it a whole muffin?
Are we talking like muffin tops here? Are we saying our belts are too tight and got overflow?
I don't know. The hard drives. I was gonna make a joke about the hard drives being a little chunky. They need to work out, but
That's too close. That's too close, man. It's too close to home.
Close. Yeah. Well, if you let me out of my goddamn apartment. How's everyone doing today?
Good. Pretty good.
I woke up like 3 hours ago, so I'm just starting my day.
Nice.
I was up at about 5 hours ago. Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
What did I do? I had like brunch, I guess you would call it, with a fat bee. Brunch. Brunch was my day's worth of calories.
That sounds like a lot of pancakes and bacon.
And then I played a little bit of NHL, and then I watched the last few episodes of Season 1, although I don't know how they're going to have a Season 2, of The Age of the Samurai, which is kind of like a animated documentary about the 1500s in Japan.
This is Netflix?
Netflix.
Is that any good?
It's not animated. It's actually
No, it's live action. Sorry, yeah.
It's live action, and it just runs through a little bit of history of Oda Nobunaga, and starting from there and moving forward. It's actually really good. I like it.
It is good. It is good.
Yeah, I like it.
So if you don't know how they go forward, they went forward like history.
Probably chronologically.
Yeah, but the show is called The Age of the Samurai, and this is all about the events that led up to their unification of Japan and then the end of the samurai era. So I'm not sure, unless there's bad shit that happens after the 1600s, then.
It wasn't good back then either.
There's a few wars that happen.
There's a few wars.
Well, they talk about bringing in the rifle. They talk about bringing in the rifle, right?
Yeah.
And how that affected
Americans. Yeah.
It was really. I really liked it so far. I'm like halfway in the second episode. It's like they're an hour each.
They're gonna have to change focus, is what I mean, from the samurai. The name of the show is gonna have to change for Season 2, or they're just calling it Season 1 because it's a collection.
Leave it open?
Yeah, I don't know.
Keep our options open here, Netflix.
But it was good. It was like a part of history that I'm like, oh yeah, there were samurai over there. I've never like delved into that history and lore.
I got it queued up just because I read the description and it said something about Lord Nobunaga, and I'm like, oh yeah, I played Onimusha Warlord. I'll watch this.
Yeah, 100 years of civil war breeds a bunch of vassals that don't care about life. Life is cheap and was cheap in there. If you go time traveling, tip: don't go to Japan between 1500s and the early 1600s. Just don't go there. Don't go to Korea either, because they go over and try to screw over Korea a bunch.
There are whole concepts of societal evolution where you go up different trees and different decision-making branches.
Yep.
And some of that stems from different centers of like social order. So like religious belief plays very strongly into like what is the inherent value of a person. Is a person inherently valuable by their very nature, or is a person only valuable through their actions, and these sorts of things impacts how all those things grow. So you can basically figure, like, look at obviously how like a Roman society would be different from a Greek society from some of those bases, and it gets even more different when you go from a European point of view, go to an Asian point of view that had a completely different route.
Yep.
For the development of a society.
Yeah, it was fascinating as somebody who has spent a lot of time in, I guess, Western history, to go and poke around in, Asian history. It was like, oh, wow.
In Princess Bride, it was stated never get into a land war in Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It does beg the question: how'd you go from that to Hello Kitty? What the fuck?
after a while, you just give up and fight cultural wars.
So today was like
That's funny.
a make wife happy day. I drove to Mississauga to the Mobilia place so that we could buy a chair from somebody she liked. So I drove past 2 Mobilias on the way to Mobilia.
I want to buy it
Mississauga.
from someone I like. Yeah, I know.
Mark's like, I have similar conversations.
So I bought the chair, and then I because it's all the stuff is still there. It's like, okay, but we have nobody who can help you take it. And I'm like, that's fine. If Jessica was here by herself, I don't know what any of your plan was, because it's like tiny little person going, I need to now put this into a vehicle. It's like you have to bring your own bag boy to.
You need to bring a strong man. Where are you gonna find one?
Well, it's
As
kind
it
of
happens.
apparently. So yeah, got that, and then we went to get Macarito, which is a Pokeball place.
Okay.
That also does sushi, and we bought. I don't have them anymore because I ate them, but Hatendo buns, which are like a new place opened up in Markham, that is from Hiroshima, Japan. So a chain from Hiroshima that makes like tasty cream buns. So I bought her those. So I spent time making my wife happy, buying stuff, doing things. Not play D&D.
Nice.
Good story, bro.
Nice. I kind of went along the same route.
Yeah.
I got my wife a you know those massage things, really nice massage things you put on the neck,
Mhm.
and because one, I do that often for her, so I don't want to do that again. But two, because I want to buy a really expensive flight stick for the PS4.
So you have to spend money in order to spend
money.
more
Spend
money
money.
on luxury items.
Yep.
Got it.
Oh yeah, I set up my my second screen. It's a big screen. That's why I'm looking this way.
Is that why
There's
there's
a
a glow?
light.
Yeah, there's kind of a glow.
Light going this way. Yeah, that's why I'm over this way, guys, a little bit more.
Okay. All right.
Tiny screen, big screen.
Mark, any updates? Oh yeah, was it?
I just
You slept.
I
Slept,
slept. That's
okay.
all I did. So.
All right.
I worked an overtime shift last night, and it was a little lottery shift. So, yay!
As in, you didn't have to do much and you got paid.
As in, they didn't need me there. Is what happened? It's like, well, you're here, so here's some busy work. Try not to get hurt.
You'll make me fill out a report.
Try not to
yeah,
get
yeah,
hurt.
basically, yeah. Just don't get hurt. We won't have a problem today. All right?
No horseplay, because horseplay equals.
Don't fuck around. Fuck around too much.
Cool. Why don't we do a recap what happened last game? Clouds in a bottle. In Overlook, Thogrim and Barnabus visit the Oakheart Library by invitation of Lord Dverak. Brennos leads Amadeus, Cog, and Agony to the Monastery of the Broken Chain. The squad finds the monastery under attack by a small army of hobgoblins and stone giants. Many monks and dwarves are slain. Brennos rescues a friend of his. In a sanctuary deep below the monastery, the four warriors have a chance to speak with the Grand Master, who is imprisoned in a shell of amethyst. There's probably some more information there, but without giving away what the episode exactly was in the write-up. So those that are at the monastery are being asked to go to the Nexus, which is a Dwarven Dwarven infrastructure or a site located in the vents. And Master Sejong Iron-Tongue has told you where the key to the Nexus is, around the neck of his grand familiar, a small dragon by the name of... Wait, what's his name?
Dwaki.
Dwaki, thank you. By the name of Dwaki, that some of the party members know and have met. This key would be used at the Nexus to close the passages under the mountainside through which the goblin hosts seem to be launching a two-pronged attack against Overlook. Should Overlook fall, those that are from Elsir Vale or have studied any history, it would be very easy then for the goblinoids to pour freely into all of Elsir Vale. Like, there would be no choke point for them to, to stop their advance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was a pretty awesome game, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The Battle of the Monastery? You like that?
The chair fight, the stair fight. A chair fight would also be cool, but
Chair fight. I'd watch that.
floor is lava.
Floor is lava.
Yeah, that crit Brennos did. Like, yeah.
That was awesome.
That was one of those crits. Something needed to happen like that because that guy was going to tear.
That
you
was
guys
won't be bad.
individually
It was
apart.
like
Yeah.
I can stand against him for 3 rounds total, and he's going to stand against me for more than 3 rounds. This path is better.
All right, so let's go to the time tracker here. So we've got Sunny, who is training for his level, which is happened, and then he spent 5 days communing with Eth to gain some power. So I'm gonna mark that as blue, as in that is done. Meanwhile, Brennos and his group traveled to the monastery and dealt with the stuff happening at the monastery.
Yeah.
So simultaneous to this, Barnabus is settled in at the library with Eamon,
Yep.
and effectively are using the library to train. So they've started their training, and I don't know if you had extra questions or research that you were doing at the library.
He was asking, looking for clues to the location of the castle in the swamp,
Right, okay.
knowing that it likely has something to do with dragons.
Right, okay, I actually had that put down. Research castle and swamp. And then you guys have a metric ton of stuff to sell.
Literally a lot of shit.
Yeah. Like we're bringing in enough stuff. Like merchants should be coming to us. Like, you don't want to miss out on these deals.
What did these monsters drop? You say? Find
Fox.
out here.
Wow.
Hey, Fox was that?
All right, so
People going like you.
as Barnabas is settling into the Oakhart Library, I think Thogrim has a delivery to make.
Yes.
So I'm going to grab...
Legendary cannoneer Thogrim has a delivery indeed.
Dingus.
They are the templates for the cannon shots that need to be manufactured
Yeah,
for the new weapon.
So this is apparently
right in.
Thogrim practicing in front of a bronzed mirror in the inn.
Oh,
You hear a heavy you hear a heavy board at the inn like creak on the outside. You could recognize Slake's footfalls. Did you say something?
Slake, are you around? Could use your arms to move those templates over.
Yeah, that's why I came up here.
Excellent timing then. Shall we? Could you force us to map tools? Because I can't find that map.
Zoom in on the city.
Got you. Thank you.
All right, if you zoom out a little bit, actually, I could force you to zoom out.
You can't tell me what to do.
I certainly can. There you go. All right, so the district of the Forge Works is actually where you need to bring the template, and the name of your, I wouldn't say master, but he is a master of cannon making and cannon using, He's less of a wizard, more of an alchemist. He is a gnome, which is likely the reason why Brennos calls you a gnome, because you've spent time with this gnome building cannons. He would be the best cannon maker, siege artillerist in all of Elsir Vale. Like legendary level, maybe? And his name is... Where did I put his token?
Is it Blombardom? Because I like that name.
Blomberdom's a really fun name, isn't it? Let me see if I can work Blomberdom.
Lamberdam.
Just get it wrong every time on purpose.
Oh, Black Betty, Lamberdam.
All right. Because Mark is a co-DM and he wants it, so for whatever reason, you don't know if it's his middle name or it's his nickname, but maybe gnomish nicknames are longer than the
The original name.
The original name. His name is Banek Blomberdom Zim, and he is a legendary cannoneer in all of Elsir Vale. He's a gnome. You know where you need to go to, and it's Blomberdom's... what would the name of a cannon forge, basically? Is in the Forge Works, which is where most of the smithies and forge works of Elsir Vale are. The dwarves produce a lot of metal and metal goods. At least goods of weapon, goods of war, anyways.
Where is it on the map?
Area D to the south.
Okay, cool. We got a way to go.
You may borrow my carriage.
I already made a sled.
Yeah, that will be perfect. Much appreciated, Barnabus, but just me and Slake will walk down the way.
Slake looks like he found some boards and sheets of metal, and he's laid both of the pieces of the template on top with tarps. He's got them hooked up to two chains to a ring, and he just grabs the ring and starts dragging them down the street noisily.
Barnabas waits till Slake's got his hands full before he says, "You sure you don't want me to send Ivan with you? You know, to protect you."
I think I'll be fine.
All right.
Besides, a book might attack you.
You'd be fucking surprised.
Falling from the top shelf. Holy crap, I think it would actually kill one of us.
Some of them are made of steel, you know.
Yeah, and stone. It's quite heavy.
That's what I'm saying. Magic. It ain't good for you.
Well, it's keeping you going, so. Enjoy your trip.
Right. We might actually, I'll spend some time over there. Might do some of my training with him.
He's already got his nose in a book. Yeah, your company will be missed. Sorry.
At least he's dedicated. So, Slake. How many days have we been here? Like a day now?
Yeah, you've been here a day.
What do you think of this city?
It's big.
Yes. It's quite the feat of dwarven engineering.
Not as big as Foundry, but... you know.
But I like this. Look at the architecture. Everything is sturdy. These buildings will not fall over in 50 or 100 years.
Well, they don't fall over easy. You just gotta replace the roofs every once in a while.
That's true. That's a given.
But even those roofs, that's copper. That's the way copper looks when it's left out in the rain.
That requires maintenance. But we're the best people. We're the best at it.
You know, every 50 years or so, replace some, whatever's been eaten away by the acid in the... He looks at you. So you make stuff, huh? I mean, without fucking magic?
Yes. Magic's a tool, right? And sometimes it's required to be put on some of the armor, whatever, the knights or the kings, whatever they require. But without the actual materials themselves, if it's not crafted right, it's worthless.
So why do you rely on magic, then, if you know how to build shit?
Well, see the cannons that I fire? It takes about 4 or 5 men. 30 seconds to fire it once. If I do it right, I can fire 2 of those in a blink of an eye. That's valuable, especially when your friends are being attacked by something dangerous.
Wow.
If I have to do that to save my friends and my families, then I will.
Get faster. Get some people to follow you. Maybe cannons weren't supposed to be fired that quickly. Build something better.
You haven't seen me fire it fast yet, actually. But yes, I put a crew of cannoneers to shame. Not really bragging, but it's a sought after skill.
No, you don't do that. Magic does that.
I do it through magic. That's true.
And you know
but
what?
I can do it myself.
You know the problem with your method is? I only have to kill one person to stop the cannons from firing.
Slake, you wouldn't do that to poor old Thogrim. We're friends.
If you have a crew, crews are replaceable.
Oh, that's true. Well, there are spells for that, but I don't like relying on them that much.
Fucking spells. Spells didn't build this city.
No.
Work did.
Yes. Everything started like that. The armor, the weapons, the cannons. They didn't have magic on them before, but they did after. It's fine. Just... you got to remember the roots. Otherwise, everything you make after is going to suck. Break down. Won't be able to contain the magic.
Okay, you pass out of the gates and then head down past a brewery area and then go into a much more industrial area. You do find Slake seems to at least be looking at buildings and like reading the signs and like is generally a tourist at this point.
Yeah.
Like
down here. Yeah, I'm kind of giving him like treasuries over here. Some goods and there's a good brewery down that we just passed on our left. My master is Master Zim. Is
wait,
some
how
kind.
many fucking masters do you have? I thought your master was in Denevar.
Well, my master in Denevar is more of a wizard. Master Zim is a cannoneer. He's a form of alchemist.
So not a wizard.
And also a crafter.
So not a wizard.
No, he's not a wizard. I think you might enjoy the forge. They craft quite a fantastic array of equipment and weapons.
Okay.
Perhaps you can work there, if you wish.
I'd rather be out fighting with the other assholes, but...
Of course, but I know you want your hands to get a bit of experience with what we've got here. You might learn a couple of things.
Give me a sense motive or a perception check, Thogrim.
Sure. Let me just switch screens here on my massive new screen. That's kind of making me go blind. All right, you want a perception check? Perception.
You need your gamer glasses.
I'm starting to look like Thogrim here. Perception.
My mod is so bright, I gotta wear shades.
33.
While this is an industrious place, it seems to be there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and it's like the place has been kicked into overdrive. There is a lot of the stacks that are belching out fumes and smoke. You could see dwarves and men hustling. There seems to be a lot of goods being moved out at a rapid pace from the forge area. You get to the cannon forge and it's no different. Apparently they are just cranking out cannonballs.
It's good to see everything's functioning properly, but what the hell?
Oh, you recognize like several apprentices of Master Zim. You don't see Master Zim anywhere. Oh, Thogrim, good to see you. Guy covered in soot. Oh, excellent! You've brought the templates.
Took a while to get here. This is my friend Slake.
Oh, is he your golem? Fuck you.
My friend Slake is a free-thinking dwarf.
He looks back and I'm sorry.
There's no harm done. Slake.
He looks at the template and says, we need to get these in place right away.
Of course. Slake could use your help again.
The Bombard is almost operational.
Really? Can I see it from wherever? I want to see it now.
Well, it's not here.
Oh, where the hell, bloody hell is
it? Was set up at Bordrin's Watch.
Bordrin's Watch? Where the fuck is that?
You know Bordrin's Watch is a massive citadel just further west in the mountains.
A mountain to protect a pass.
Yeah.
Like it's not mobile. It's it's kind of like when they were trying to shell England from Europe.
So are we going to start making the ammunition here and sending it down there?
Yes.
Wouldn't it make sense to make the ammunition there?
We don't want to risk it.
Understood. All right.
We can get much more produced here.
Makes sense. I understand that.
Bordrin's Watch. So I have a description of Bordrin's Watch. Do you have any ranks in knowledge local?
Uno momento. Knowledge local. Yeah, I do. Elsir Vale. Boop. 16. It's not fantastic, but I have a profession siege engineer. Maybe that might help.
No, I'll give you a description of Bordrin's Watch.
Okay.
It's a mighty fortress that was raised to control traffic in and out of the mountains, basically to guard Elsir Vale from attack. The stronghold consists of a long wall, which is 150 feet tall and 80 feet thick at its base. Punctured with steep towers fitted with arrow slits. Battlements cap the walls, allowing sentries to watch the pass and defend the fortress from attack. Atop each of the tower used to be in old times catapults, but now they've been replaced with cannons.
Large cannons or
bigger than that?
Ballistas and scorpions are still used where cannons haven't been replaced. Every 40 feet along the wall's length.
How long is the length of it?
It covers an entire pass. At the center of the pass is a massive gate. The doors stand 100 feet tall, and take 40 bulls to pull them open. The gatehouse surrounding the doors consists of 2 towers, each tower as tall as a wall and wider than 3 standing towers together. The Bordrin's Watch can accommodate like 3,000 soldiers in the towers. And then has, on the eastern side, can hold 100 times that number if need be. There are granaries there. There are towns and hamlets and small communities between Bordrin's Watch and Overlook.
Thogrim is now starting to think, are there any...
The Bombard, is being set up in the wall of Bordrin's Watch, kind of like facing the valley. You know that the Bombard probably has limited amount of
movement,
lateral
like
and
range,
and height, vertical movement. Yeah. You haven't been there apparently with a 16. Like you know about it. You just you've seen pictures, you've
Haven't,
seen the dot on the map. You've just never been there.
Who has the map to the vents?
Barnabus has the maps for the party.
He's the geographer.
Okay, we're gonna have to get a
The only
copy.
reason is
Thogrim, we can
Yes.
set this up here. Thank you for delivering this. Could you go and fetch Master Zim for us? He's been waiting for you for days.
Where is the master?
Oh, he leans in a little bit closer. He glances at Slake, who's helping like unwrap the plates, and he's picking one up on his own. Oh, the master's been waiting at the at Durgan's brewery. He looks a little sheepish.
I'll go fetch him.
Master drinks a lot, huh?
It's like, where do you want this? It's like, oh, careful. Goes and puts it into place. Are you bringing Slake, or are you leaving Slake to fiddle around
Slake,
the cannon forge?
Please don't hurt anyone. Could you just help them? You can see they're not as strong as you. I need to go bring my master.
I'm not fucking hurting anyone.
Just had to say in front of them, that's all. Thanks, friend.
Not your fucking golem either.
Yes, I said that. You're my friend. Fuck's sake.
He's got the 600-pound thing in his hands. He's just looking at you.
I'm going to go now.
All right. So let's see. 1 in 1,000 chance that Thogrim gets mugged.
Wait,
Okay.
let me cannon fire down the street if that shit happens.
Your money or your life. Bang!
All right, you pass the brewery area. There are a bunch of smaller breweries, and then businesses that support breweries, and then taverns that sell the brewery. It's basically a big drinking district. But you do go to Durgan's brewery, and yep, you know which brewery or which tavern he's at, because Rusty, which is a Dwarven iron golem, is standing outside one of the taverns, just waiting. Give me a knowledge arcana.
Okay.
I like how they modeled the potbelly into the iron golem.
35.
It's not a power belly.
It angles the attacks that come from below.
And serves as extra storage.
35.
You know that Rusty is a Dwarven-style iron golem, and what I mean by Dwarven-style is they're built stout and they're very sturdy. They probably have the stability bonus that dwarves have, but built into the iron golem form. Dwarves have put their little spin on a lot of different types of golems. 35. You know that he was found. He wasn't made, but he was found and adapted by some wizard. And then, because he's so old, that's why they call him Rusty, like he's starting to slowly rust. He's smart, but only smart because of the circlet that he wears. So he's not like a person smart. He's just, he can understand more complex commands because of a circlet that has been worked into his construction. You know that Bannock Blombardom, through his service to the council of the Dwarvish Council plus the city of Overlook and Elsir Vale, was awarded Rusty, or he inherited it from a previous master or something. Blombardom wasn't the one who crafted him. He just looks after him. But you see Rusty there. Rusty looks down at you. You could hear some internal whirring.
Hello, Rusty. It's been a while.
Apprentice Thogrim.
Yes. Is Master Zim inside here?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll go and see him, if you don't mind.
Master. And the thing points at the building.
Thank you. Thank you, Rusty. Take care now. Just remember to oil him up a bit. He'll fucking fall apart any second.
You go in. The smell of sweat, soot, and piss and beer seems to seep from this place, kind of hang in the air. The people that are in it don't mind, as they are in amidst the middle of like a long day's drinking or celebrating various things. You can see sitting right up at the bar is Bannock Blomberdom Zim. He's standing on a high chair and wobbling a little bit, and he's got a large dwarvish stein in his hand, made of glass that is frothing and sloshing.
Master.
I tell you what. I tell you, and I tell you again.
Shit. Master Zim.
Hey, that's my name. Don't wear it out.
Bannock. It's me, Thogrim.
Thogrim! He puts his drink down and gives you a big hug. Thogrim! It's good to see you. It's good to see you, indeed.
It's good to see you too, Master.
Sit down, have a drink.
Actually, we're going to have to get going.
Oh.
The template for the special thing has arrived.
The Bombard! It's ahead of schedule! When we heard that goblins were coming down to attack Baldrin's Watch, we hustled and we bustled, and we got the Bombard in place. I welded in the final pieces myself.
I heard.
Came here for a little wet of the whistle.
Hopefully not too much.
You know.
Yes, I do know. That's why hopefully not too much. But it's good to see you, friend.
The drinking, it helps me here.
He prestidigitates him.
Hey, magic, Thogrim. So, what brings you to Overlook?
I was hoping to train a little bit. I wanted to learn how to...
A train? The trains
Yes.
don't go to Overlook.
No, I've got some spare time, and it's time for me to learn the next way of using the cannons.
Could you imagine they did? All the dwarves would move away.
Of course, yes.
I'm starting to slowly walk him out of the place.
Okay, he wiggles out of your hand and goes back to his drink. Ah, come on, sit down for a bit.
We should really get going, Master. You need to sober up. There's something I need to speak with you about. It's quite important.
Hey? Oh, hold on a second. He goes wandering back to the bar, and there's like just kind of the detritus of past meals and a bunch of a cluster of drinks that or the glassware for the drinks that he already has, and then he gets his bronze hearing horn and sticks it into his ear, which just basically looks like a curled metal horn, like actual like trumpet sort of thing. It's got a trumpet end, and oh, is that Thogrim?
You need to sober up. There's some important business I need to speak with you. It's quite...
Don't worry, I've always had a steady hand. And despite being very, very hammered, he does raise his hand up, and his hand does not shake.
Thogrim raises his hand.
You son of a bitch.
You need a good drink in you.
Thogrim is...
Give me a diplomacy. You're being nice, so I assume you're trying to convince him to come away. Give me a diplomacy check to see if you could get Bannock to come with you.
Skill I don't have. Cool. All right.
Charisma.
Yep.
It is a handy skill. You might want to rank.
1d20 plus 0. Perfect. 2.
I guess I'm drinking. I guess I'm drinking.
You can actually get a lot done with a
Dude.
DC 15. I'm just saying.
It's like I know from my experience, if I was like, I'm going out tonight, and I was sitting at a bar waiting for my turn at karaoke, and somebody came in like, hey, let's go, Marty. I'm like, no, I'm fucking here doing karaoke.
Don't have to tell me that.
No, he's not leaving. I'll go with you, but you gotta have a few drinks with me first. All right, one drink. You have one drink.
Let's have one, all right? And he's
DM point. It is a giant drink.
Thogrim's like, yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So Thogrim he does order he orders a boot, which is a metal boot cast of a boot filled with beer. It's just one drink.
Thogrim is seriously concerned about the vents and where they lead behind the wall. He wants to go take a look at that map that Barnabus has.
No, you have a map that has a dot where the vents are. You don't have maps of the vents.
We don't know where the... Oh, fuck.
You know that the Nexus is somewhere... Sorry, you don't even know about the Nexus.
I don't know about that, no.
Other group does, so...
Okay. He's concerned about the vents, but there's nothing he can do about it now. He will throw the drink over his shoulders when the master is drinking.
Give me a sleight of hand as you're attempting to pretend to drink the drink.
Yes, that skill.
A skill you don't have.
But my dex is good.
Look at
Slips, it fucking slips and just...
You're fucking spilling it already! He just gets you another one. And now you have a boot and a half to finish.
Alright, it's time to leave. I can't do this anymore. My bladder's not as big as it used to be. I'll fill this boot myself.
My apprentices could set everything up if you bring the templates to the cannon forge. I got time. I'll oversee the last little bit and we'll start cracking out the bowls.
I want you to meet a friend of mine.
Oh?
His name, yes, he's he's an unfortunate fellow, but it's a dwarf who's been somehow, with the Empire's dilly-dallying with his soul, have put him into some kind of construct. And he's there. He's able to think, he's able to speak, he's got free will.
You got yourself a construct?
No, he's a friend of mine. He's not my construct. He's a free-willed dwarf. He's trapped inside this body of a golem.
He's trapped inside? I was sort of opening up Rusty's belly and maybe riding around in it, taking a nap.
You bring up an interesting point, but that's something else.
It's where the poison canisters are, though. Even though I drained them of poison a long time ago, the canisters are still there, and they sometimes drip. It's probably not the right place for a gnome to take a nap.
Well, you are sturdy and hardy, but still. Good point. Might want to get rid of those ones.
Not too worried about poison, you're right, but still, it gets in your beard and you shake hands and...
Yeah, it gets in your hands, and if you do this, you know, this is... It'll fuck up your day.
Right, so, what are you going to do now? Are you going to Mordrin's watch? Apparently the goblins are getting all uppity. I'd love to see the looks on their eyes when the bombard starts going off.
I've already had my run-in with them a couple of times already, recently. They had tried to steal the templates.
Oh, yes, goblins always trying to take what isn't theirs. He gets up on the chair. To the lads and ladies who are defending Mordred's watch! And everyone's...
Yeah, fuck, can't deny that one.
Uh,
All right, so
Yeah.
it feels like Thogrim ends up getting at least buzzed, sitting with Bannock, and when Bannock's ready to go, it's pretty much the end of the evening, and you you kind of help him walk back to the Cannon Works. You know that he has a apartment nearby.
Yep.
Come on, Rusty.
Back to me. Where's Slake? Slake.
All right, so
Slake.
no one tries to mug you.
Remember, he's not a golem, because he gets angry. He's very angry.
All right, so are you going directly to the Cannon Forge, or are you dropping Zim off at his apartment?
So work is basically stopped for the evening, right?
You can still hear some clanging inside the Cannon Forge.
I'll drop him off at his apartment, and I'll head to the forge to get.
Okay, he just points at a spot where it looks like Rusty stands quite often, which is just outside the little staircase.
There's two big imprints where the ground is like.
Rusty just. As a backup, that's good, Rusty. Right into your barn. There's just a little bit of an overhang and a shingled roof. No door; it's just open to the elements. Bannock you're able to bring him into his home. He needs help with the keys, but eventually gets into his home and passes out on a little divan.
So
you actually see some plans for the Bombard kind of scattered throughout his kitchen. You're standing in his home. He's already snoring on the couch.
Yeah, I'll take a look at this thing.
They look like early sketches. There are some early formulas that he was working out. It doesn't look like the final blueprint, but with time you could probably replicate the final blueprint from these notes.
Knowledge. Is it a knowledge check or?
Well, what's your knowledge architecture?
Knowledge engineering siege weapons.
Yeah, what's your total? You might even have to roll.
It's a 25.
A plus 25? Yeah. So if you had these pages, you'd be able to recreate blueprints for a Bombard.
So I'm gonna collect them and roll them up.
Okay.
Now, is this like a secret weapon? Or how angry is he gonna be that I have this?
He's got the final blueprint somewhere. This is like his working copies.
Okay, well, I'm worried about these things.
Critical design flaw in there.
I'm going to roll this stuff up, put it in my bag of holding, and take it with me.
All right, mark down. You've got Blomberdom's working notes for Bombard.
Okay.
Make a note that they're incomplete, like they're not final.
Yeah.
That whole are you bolting in the firing cap or are you threading it in? It would be really scary to set one of those things off. Like the first time, it's like,
who wants to light it? Not me. Thank you.
No. You would summon a fire elemental to go touch the wick. Like
Just.
That's why you have. It's why you have apprentices.
I wonder if I can bond with this thing. This is what size? What size is this thing?
Oh, you're gonna make me.
Yeah, are there an inordinate number of dwarves and humans with prosthetic limbs in this place?
Yeah, I'm assuming there's lots of conversations that go, ah!
That's all you hear in the lunchroom. What?
All right, so let me just look at siege weapons for a minute, because I think
it would make sense that everyone like aims a certain way so that it's everyone's left ear that's shot, and and they only speak into the right ears.
Good ear.
Or earmuffs would work. I mean,
Ear protection.
all right, that'll work. Shit, just cotton and just cup your hand. There you go.
I think they used to use wax back in the day. Little balls of wax.
Okay, so a heavy bombard makes 50-pound cannonballs.
So that's
give me a second.
gargantuan, at least, I think.
A 50-pound cannonball is like not that big. In terms of like,
Yeah.
like
The cannonballs I
cannonball.
have are
Yeah.
30 pounds.
Yeah, so this thing is a normal heavy bombard is a gargantuan siege weapon.
Gargantuan.
This creation of theirs is a colossal bombard.
Oh,
What?
I want to bond with this.
What does 96 become when you increase its size by 1?
98.
98? Okay, so it would do 98 damage.
The next step is 18d6, which is a fun step.
Its range is something like 300 feet.
That's awesome.
Heavy bombard balls. It fires something like 50 times 8, I guess would be the calculation.
40?
It fires 400-pound cannonballs.
That's a manly cannonball.
That's what the template was for.
Shit.
I believe that's an attaboy. Attaboy!
Yeah, fuck yeah.
They're aiming it at a spot where basically armies would have to pour through, and they want to make army not be there anymore.
If you're looking for a good reference for something, Marty, the
Yeah.
Tsar cannon is like just a very large, very fancy-looking bombard that does fire in about the size you're looking at. I think the ammunition's a little bit heavier in this one, but it's like it looks fucking awesome.
Yep. So that's what you've got notes for. Whether or not you can bond with it, we'd have to look at your class. But
Yeah, I'm looking that up now.
Yeah, the Tsar cannon projectiles are 1 ton. It's close enough for Fantasy World.
yeah, it's in the same.
It's the same.
You don't move it anywhere. Like it stays fixed. I don't know how much this thing would weigh. It'd be a ridiculous amount.
It doesn't say there's a limit to the size of the thing I can bond with. 30 minus size here, you can utilize the power.
The reason why they're also crafting them here is they're likely making magical ammunition.
Yeah.
And while they could probably make the non-magical versions on the front, they're probably not making magic weapons on the front. All right, so Thogrim takes the
I think I can bond with something this big.
Thogrim takes the knowledge that doesn't belong to him.
Gotcha.
Why is Thogrim taking it?
Why?
He likes to
This
steal
shit shouldn't be
intellectual
lying
property.
around, and I'm gonna make copies of this shit. Give it back to him at night.
It shouldn't be lying around, but there needs to be copies.
Can't I just fabricate copies of it?
I don't think you can fabricate writing.
You could make more paper.
You can make more paper.
Okay,
And
that
ink.
looks like that one. Cool. That's fine.
You could probably fabricate models.
How many papers are we talking about? Like, can I do it over a night? Like,
So you could spend your evening there. If you have the fabricate spell, you could fabricate ordinary metal objects into like models of the drawings, or you could spend an evening sketching what you need.
Which is better?
You'd probably still need drawings and measurements, so probably the drawings, the notes.
Okay, so I'll spend the evening copying all the stuff.
Okay, give me a
Knowledge engineering?
knowledge engineering check. Yep.
Okay.
I'm
40.
nerding out on bombards right now, just in case you're wondering what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, they had to actually, they did have complex molds for the ammunition because it would weigh too much to actually be shot out. So they're actually hollow giant steel
Yeah,
balls.
they're hollow in the center.
Because it can't fire like a 10-ton projectile. With like the bore is for a 10-ton projectile.
Yeah, you don't really want the mass. You want the size.
Yeah.
I think we did the same research. Like, oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a bombard. Interesting.
Okay, so you copy the pages with a 40. Yeah, you're able to copy the pages and make your own notation. You still haven't had time to study them to figure out what the next step of the design is, but you effectively have a copy of his working notes.
Master Zim's unfinished copy of Master Zim's unfinished.
Yep.
I organize it for him.
There you
go.
Are you leaving his originals behind then? Or
Yeah.
All right. So it's just the knowledge that you're stealing. Got it.
You said in the bar it was fine.
All right. So, Master Zim the next morning, if you're still around, will ask you for help at the Cannon Forge.
I went to get Slake, who was probably really pissed off with me.
He doesn't sleep, so.
Yeah. Well, I'll go sleep actually a bit and then come back and help him during the day.
Does Slake bond with any of the non-magical craftsmen who are there doing the Lord's work in terms of, I am making a big cannon with big balls with a big forge.
Slake appreciates this. He has craft weapons plus 16 with his tools and plus 16 with armor, so he actually does spend time at the Cannon Forge helping moving stuff around and just spends time watching. So not necessarily bonding, but I think a guy with 30 strength in a factory can be quite useful.
Also, his fingers don't come off accidentally.
His fingers don't come off, and the fire doesn't bother him. So, or any of the magical flames don't bother him. Just don't tell them they are magic. So yeah, you do find Slake actually helping out the next day. It looks like he's helping on some early version of an assembly line for cannonballs, which is a bunch of dwarves, men, and gnomes working really hard to crank them out.
I actually only need 2 hours of sleep because I have a ring of sustenance.
Yep.
So I'm back at it pretty quickly.
All right. So we're going to say that you spend 5 days of time delivering the Bombard molds and then actually working at the Cannon Forge.
Yeah. Could this be considered part of my training?
Yes.
Cool. We don't get a message from we're ascending?
Give me a second. So
Cool. No problem.
Barnabus is in the middle of training for his level, and Eamon is training for his level. He does some, I don't know, like exercises in the morning and then stands guard over Barnabus and just takes whatever miserable remarks that Barnabus throws his way.
Barnabas just keeps asking him, do you read this language? No? Okay. Do you read this language? No? All right. Do you read this one? No? All right.
Can you read a whole?
Okay, so you end up learning that Eamon can read and write Imperial Common, Infernal, Draconic, Dwarven, and Nezumi.
He's learned. Actually, he's learning Nezumi this level from
Okay,
Barnabus.
so he was learning. He wants to learn Nezumi because he knows that you travel with rats.
Barnabas wants him to learn Nezumi so the two of them can talk, and no one else can understand.
okay.
As far as he knows, no one else speaks Nezumi. It's a rare language people to speak.
Except for those rats that you cavort with.
Except for the rats, yeah, but they're not around, are they?
Let's move Barnabas and Eamon up to the library. Where are they?
No, they're down by the
Yeah.
carriage I saw.
Alright, so you guys are at the Oakheart Library. Yes, so let's go to the monastery. This is the day after the fight. Brennos prepares his spells, and to which god do you align your prayers that day?
It really, really important.
To which deity do you align your prayers? Which deity of your Mornden salmon and the gods that were kicked out of said pantheon?
What honorable god?
The honorable god Drinka, the mad god, the betrayer, the father of the derro. Magic, knowledge, cruelty, chaos, destruction, evil, trickery, and most importantly, dreams. Mostly bad dreams.
All right, so you end up resting in the forge sanctum. It's warm in here, or perhaps in the room outside, mostly to guard, to make sure that there are no other elements of goblin kind or the giants that it will attack the most sacred spot in the monastery. You know that this is holy ground to Moradin. So it's likely not the best thing to cry out to the derro god.
Abathor is not a good thing to call out here around here. Or what's his name?
Well, this one might be worse.
This is worse. This is like... Abathor is like that uncle that they don't get along. This is...
The
guy who
tried to
robbed
kill
your house and you chased out of town.
Okay.
murdered one of your children. The Mordid Shaman I have grouped into like the Mordid Shaman, the Exiled, which are like those are the bad gods. And then this is like a step below that.
Mark, is there like an evil Rumpelstiltskin goblin type character from a movie or I wonder if there's like a green goblin in a top hat or something.
There has to be.
Use the same one used for Lemmy's cousin. You know,
Probably like an evil leprechaun would be what you want.
Lemmy's cousin.
So the leprechaun.
So the leprechaun. Yeah.
The leprechaun, yeah.
Oh, I just by searching, apparently I found Chaga's goblin cohort. He's a
good for you.
He's a fat goblin. Fat goblin.
Save you for later.
Yeah, exactly. We saved you for later.
You understand things.
Green Goblin's such an awesome looking. There's some good art.
Yeah. Well, there are there's a half a century of Spider-Man related art.
Yes.
In fact, more than that. And now I'll stop thinking about this.
That's it, old.
When old art came from your childhood, it's like,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
ancient. No, it's not. What's wrong with you? Shut up.
I almost slammed my car into a tree the first time I heard it was, I think it was Guns N' Roses described as classic rock. I was like, no, it can't be! way!
It's in the golden oldies. I didn't realize the golden oldies keeps moving forward. It just
Yeah.
means shit that's 40 years old.
Yep.
Oh, Metallica, the golden oldies.
The golden oldies, yes.
What the fuck?
And justice for all, golden
Yep.
oldie. Thank you for stabbing me in the kidney.
All right, so where do you go and pray to the god of madness?
Dark corner, all by myself.
Sorry, the god of cruelty, knowledge, and magic.
Yeah,
Interesting.
just go pray next to
He's
Amadeus.
he's one of the mad gods. He
Yeah.
is not a god of madness.
Yep.
Let's go to the. Probably gonna do this out in the. I think we do it outside actually.
Okay.
Like
On the stairs.
Away from the temple, just a little
I
bit.
think actually in the courtyard with all the dwarves.
Okay, the monastery ground with all the. All right. So there's Brennos. Probably that next morning. I assume you guys have ways of healing yourselves. I'm just going to take your
Yeah,
damage off.
Brennos could heal up the party.
The big pyre of hobgoblins is burned that early morning. The smell of burnt flesh and leather. It looks like some of the monks have started moving the knocked off heads from the dwarvish statues of past monk elders and heroes of the dwarvish people. You probably don't do this near the front gate. You probably go for a little bit of a walk. You feel that you're a respectful but safe distance away from the holy ground of.
Yeah, I don't want to be jumped by. Extra
Before you
giants or
start
whatever.
sounding like the Tasmanian devil in prayer.
Okay, you sit cross-legged, kind of between four statues that are just in rows and rows of statues. You feel that no one's really watching you at this point.
I'm going to take off. That would be the. I'll take off my armor, specifically the chest plate, because I've got the holy symbols tattooed. And I'm going to expose like my lower back, I suppose, is where close to my ass where I stick those god tattoos.
Okay.
Tramp stamp of the
All right, so you reach behind and you touch the tattoo that you know is of the. You feel a presence. There's a ripple in the wind, and a little bit of trash kind of moves between two statues, and you actually feel a presence is near.
I think I know it's been some time. Knowledge is power.
You do see the presence, but you know that you can only see Darinka's presence or feel him out of the corner of your eye. It's always in the peripheral vision. You turn and he's just not there. A leaf, like a dead leaf, kind of skitters across the ground and then swirls in front of you a little bit. Brennos.
Aye. Been some time, I suppose.
Your tongue is flat, but still I hear. And we know that you cannot be loyal to a family without acknowledging the skeletons in the closet.
There's a slam of a closet door in a house that you stayed with in when you were a child. you felt the presence kind of like touch your mind, and that memory came back.
Well, you betrayed, and you became the betrayer.
They get what they ask for. Or did they betray me because they were afraid? They shouldn't be afraid. They should be afraid. There are things out there in the darkness. Things that won't just kill you. What do you want, Brennos? You said the words. You give us prayer. Fuel to the fire you provide. Good little Brennos.
What's Brennos's alignment?
He is true neutral.
Oh, not chaotic neutral, just true neutral? Okay.
He's just true neutral. Well, picking chaotic neutral would be a little bit rough for all them dwarf deities.
What do you want, Brennos? Many-tongued, hydra-tongued liar.
I need to see people through their dreams, and I know you can do it.
It's a good way to talk. People don't think they're mad when they see mad things in their dreams, do they? It's a good way to communicate.
Madness is only a perception, I suppose.
You have to be cruel to be kind in the right measure.
Some sort of song? Weird.
There is always many things coincide with cruelty. There are more than one way to solve a problem.
Yeah. You've been close to madness and you don't even know it.
Brennos thinks about crazy tongue man sucking up people's thingies with his face.
Oh, yeah.
And you realize that you do invite gods into your mind when you invoke their names.
Fully, yeah, they're soul fight.
Yeah.
And you invited the mayor Crazy Town in.
One of the things in the darkness made him. And yet, he still is sane.
As we said before, madness is only a point of perspective.
Yes, Brennos, you understand the cost. The price that I have paid. It shames the Monden salmon. They outcast me, call me evil, but I am simply the herald of things to come. I will survive when the rest of them die, valiantly sacrificing themselves for their ideals upon the altar of old. I will witness it. They do not listen. You listen to all of them. And you still have use for deering deering.
We preserve the knowledge and the ways of old. All of them. Even the skeletons in the closet.
Then I challenge you, Brennos. Many-tongue Hydra prayers. Do not follow the old ways blindly, but dare to ask questions. Ask the questions. Dig deeper, Brennos, and you could join me while the rest of the multiverse burns.
What kind of questions should I be asking?
The truth will set you free. Your spells are granted, Brennos. I'll be watching.
Enjoy the show.
The show must go on. The show must go on. The show might end. Here's hoping to syndication.
Don't think Brennos knows what a syndication is.
No,
He might know of the syndicate.
There's some mad babbling that just rolls around your head. You realize the thoughts are not your own, but the swirling of the spell is granted. You're pretty sure that you're not sure, Brennos. Like, you've been the more time goes by, the stronger your connection, or the more attention you get from the gods. You always hope that it would be like Klangedin that you would, like,
Hey, buddy!
stand on some war boar while you're battling or something like that. It's like, yeah, just your luck that it's Darinka that answers.
His thought about this is... in his own mind, he's like, oh, Drinka's like... It's 2 bells. The bar is getting a little bit lean on folks, just looking for a dead spot.
He likens it to the desperation that drunkards have at the end of the night to hook up. Is that what you just said? That's funny. I don't quite get it, but it's funny.
So, on this day, we are worshipping that of dreams and destruction from Drinka.
Okay.
Don't think we're gonna hang out in the temple today.
All right, so you receive your spells. Does that include a sending?
Yeah, I got 2 sendings.
All right, to whom are you sending a sending, and what does it say?
It would be to Thogrim.
Okay, can you type it out?
I certainly can. Which sheet should we put communications in for this group?
I think just correspondence and divinations. We can make a Thogrim sendings. No, not Thogrim. Sorry, Brennos.
Brennos.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. There's a section for that. Okay, cool. So the only way Brennos can get this, like, I don't think I can take the spell. I have to worship Mad God to talk to people.
Well, I suspect you're going to be doing this quite often because sending is it's really useful spell. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, yeah. Just worship madness. I don't want to talk to the crazy uncle anymore. All right.
You know that this aspect or this thing that you see is called the dwarf not there.
Yeah. He's there, but he's not there.
Ahmed, you may want to prepare your response.
Who the fuck is this? All hail the Undying Emperor.
I'm hearing voices again, guys.
Okay. Monastery. Attack.
Yes, Mark.
I'm debating wanting to spend a DM point.
4.
Okay, the sending spells come from Drinka, right?
Yep.
So maybe the sendings come with the message along with some other crazy talk.
They might go through a filter.
Yeah, sure.
You know, everything's fine over here. Cats are trying to eat your children.
You want to be the creeper guy again? Yeah. And I'll eat your soul. Creepy guy? No, that's just from me.
I'm really mad.
Okay, the last word should be Brennos, and that will help me add some madness.
Okay, I've already filled in the Brennos.
Okay.
Sorry. It popped in.
Self-advertising. All right. I'm gonna respond to this here.
This is. See if I can get it so we can.
Okay, do you want me to paste this in the chat?
Yeah, if you're done.
Give me 1 second. I've got one extra word.
Freedom spell.
He's hoping that you know what.
Freedom.
I'm going to add the grammar in to get retrieve amulet from Dwaki, as opposed to just being retrieve amulet Dwaki.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hoping that you know to talk to the other chuckleheads of like, I don't know a Dwaki. Well, talk to the geographist.
Okay, so if you want to paste that into chat,
Okay.
and then read it out loud.
Retrieve amulet on Dwaki? I don't...
Monastery attacked, many killed. Freedom needed for master. Retrieve amulet from Dwaki, silver dragon. Needed to close Nexus. Hurry, Brennos. And his best friend, Irinka.
All right, so you were this is early in the morning, so you were just finished kind of studying from your spell book, and you were on your way back to the Cannon Forge to continue helping.
Oh, I wanted to buy. Actually, I wanted to go. This would be a good time to go and buy that spell.
No commerce has happened yet. You are still in the middle of training.
Okay.
You finished 5 days. 5 days of your 10 days it'll take to train.
Okay.
I was watching on it, right? It was like E equals MC squared is what you
Okay.
You can feel the spell sort of hovering in the air around you. You heard the words of Brennos,
What?
but Darinka, give me a knowledge religion.
Okay.
Not that skill. Is
I don't think I have that skill. Yeah. I don't even know. I mean,
Okay, so it's an int check if you don't have that skill.
got that. Oh, 7. 19.
It's a very evil god. It's like an outcast god. The word derro comes to mind. You
Fascinating.
and then give me a spellcraft check to see if you understand sending. This is the first time I think you've used it. Yep.
38.
Yeah, you understand how many words that you have, and you did a quick count, which you'll talk to Brennos later about, that there were more words in Brennos' sending.
Because I'm better than you.
Right, so we'll find freedom spell. Will teleport to you. Teleport to Monastery.
Barnabus, you've chosen some very interesting people to...
Yeah. This will work out okay, I think.
Look,
As long as
you
we
asked
don't
for
stay-
morally flexible. I don't know how much more flexible you can be.
Can't get more flexible than this. As long as we don't stay in one spot for too long, we might be okay.
Okay, preeminent from Dwerak. Okay. We'll find freedom spell. We'll teleport to Monastery. Dwerak? Question mark? Let's see. Yeah, how do you spell? Dverak? Okay, Will, sorry.
Alright. Might have to go to the geographist for the second one.
4, 5. Yeah, I'll talk to Barnabus.
Okay, he's just saying, I don't know what these things are. Okay.
Yeah. You on? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll find freedom spell. We'll teleport to Monastery. To Wacky? To Rinka? We'll talk to Barnabas. What are you on? Yes.
I'm on a questionable fucking decision, and I understand it. It's fucking important. And I'm putting on a shoe.
All right, that's what Thogrim's response was. I didn't even use the 20. It's like,
Use the volume.
maybe I was like, maybe the 5 that he used came from mine.
All right, and then there's some added words at the end that says, "Ooh, a big brain. They like big brains."
Ah, big brain. They like big brains.
It's obviously like a different voice for that chunk of the message.
Yes, it's Drinker, the dwarf, not theirs voice, and he's talking about Thogrim to you, almost like he's co-opting the end of the spell.
Well,
He's fucking hanging on. He's bored.
his big brain is.
You get
Nobody's touching
director's
his big
commentary
brain.
with every exchange.
It's effectively it. I really like Fox. Someone's lonely. Yeah. Not too many people worship the god of madness, or the mad god of.
Term kind of, you know.
It's just he's just lonely. So after every sentence, he's like, "And I'm fine too. How are you?"
You didn't call!
off of his brains.
That's funny.
Okay, so you catch I don't know, Agony and Amadeus standing outside, like looking at Brennos, like they're like looking for him.
They're supposed to be on the way. Brennos is basically like made camp amongst them. Look at him. He's supposed to be finding the freedom and talking to Barnabus about the stuff. Barnabus knows about your little dragon thing, right?
I don't know if he knows or not.
He said that he knows Nighthorn.
Amadeus just shrugs. He doesn't really know.
I don't know.
Well, I can.
In the next, if you could do it again, you could let them know that Dwaki's in Sylvan Acres. Or at least that's where we saw him last.
Additionally, I can effectively have a longer chat with one of them. But we're gonna have to wait for him to be sleeping.
We're waiting for them to... Are they teleporting here today?
They said they were gonna find the freedom and teleport, but you said something about either the DD thing or the old man has it.
Yes, if DD has it, then we effectively don't have it because it's somewhere south. Far south. And if the old man has it, we need to wait for him to return from the Druid town we left him at.
Are we sure we want to let him out?
It's a good question. I don't think he likes me very much.
Oh, no, he doesn't like me.
Whoa.
I think it has to do with that because of the color of my scales, says Agony.
Well, I
Mine
thought
has more to do with the content of my character.
Agony shifts a little bit. It might be more that too. Like Agony's trying to go up in a path of the red dragon. It's not just he's a red dragon.
No,
he's trying to be the epitome of.
Right. Maybe you're right.
We've all got to make sacrifices to do what we're doing.
So he said there's two ways. We get the key for ourselves and we just leave him in the amethyst.
Pretend. Well, we'll have to. We'll let them figure out. I mean, he's a great master, but he is stuck in a block.
Do you know who the best negotiator is?
Oh, the fucking fancy pants. Have you seen that fucker go?
Yes.
I haven't seen dwarves take a kicking like that at a negotiating table in over a decade.
Agony turns to Amadeus. Perhaps we'll get more money out of it if Barnabas does the negotiation.
Maybe. I'm a pretty good negotiator. You guys just don't let me use my methods.
What are you gonna do? If you grab the crystal,
If you want to go touch the stone again, we can go put you up against the stone.
you end,
All right, fine. I do.
if you grab the crystal, you end up in the storm clouds again.
It's a weird
Right,
thing, that.
What I don't quite understand is if that is a powerful dragon, how did it end up in that state?
Oh, he didn't tell me. He just yelled at me.
Agony, like, kind of shrugs, it's like same thing.
Like, I agree. This guy sucks.
There are many legends of old. Typically, if somebody's been bested, they are bested by a superior foe, but fate intervenes from time to time. Many stories of the wee one taking out the more powerful, or getting the upper hand, or, you know, finding a pleasant way to betray those that you're closest to you.
Cog comes wandering out. You can see your companion. Your companions are out and about.
No. That's where you all are. Why aren't you training?
I am.
What's going on?
Trying to figure out. I could talk to 2 others today. One of them needs to sleep.
2 others.
The fancy pants most definitely sleeps.
Oh, you already talked to Thogrim.
You do know he only sleeps about 2 hours a night, though.
Oh, he's an insomniac?
No, yes, he's got one of those rings that makes him
He's
an
got one of those
insomniac.
rings, but he actually uses the power of the ring as
Yes.
opposed to just, gluttonously sleeping for the rest of the period.
Yeah.
If Chaga had that ring, he'd still sleep and eat.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
It's for emergencies only.
You just nap in bed, nibble for the taste of it.
Barnabus does eat, and obviously he drinks, but he only eats if it's something he's cooked, and he doesn't eat on the road because that.
All right, so let's go back to the city of Overlook. What is Thogrim doing after receiving that message? You were at the... I guess you're staying at the inn. So you were at the inn. You know that Barnabus has already left this morning because he doesn't... He's probably like recouping his spells. And then Slake is still at the Cannon Forge. He's
fine there.
Yep.
I'm gonna go and see Barnabas.
Okay. We actually have a map for this, so I'm going to go to the... what is it called? The Overlook Oakhart Library.
Marty, I'd like to make some kind of skill check to figure out that he was talking about the freedom spell, because it's not... I don't want to use what I already know. Maybe I'll share it with Bart. Maybe I'll share it with no, because like it needs freedom. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's
a guy
do
who
you have
spellcraft was describing the thing he was told. So he said it was a freedom, and that's what he was told he needed.
Yep.
That's all he knows. So
freedom needed for master. Give me a knowledge.
linguistics.
No, a knowledge local.
$21.
You've heard rumors that the master of the monastery is a talking statue. Like it's some wise entity that teaches monks.
Is that enough of a leap, or not?
And then freedom. Yeah, if you crack, say, 35 on spellcraft, you'll have
talking about big, powerful spells.
Yep.
22.
No, the master must be stuck somewhere, like as in he was captured by the people who attacked the monastery. It seems.
Yeah. What kind of freedom does he need?
What is Thogrim's last name? Clan name or?
Give me a sec. Banadin.
Master Banadin. I would say early bird gets the worm, but Barnabas beat you to that.
It's fine. Hey,
You've been spending a lot of your share of time away from the library. Which begs me to ask the question, what could be so important out there to waste your time in here?
yes, I'll answer that question at some point, but I have a question for you. A friend of mine said to me that the master of this temple required freedom. Do you have any idea what the hell he's referring to? The temple of
Sundered
called?
Chain.
There are
Sundered Chain.
books about the monastery in the section over there. You will find somewhere a roll of previous masters as well as the architecture of the monastery.
What of the master himself? Or
I've
herself?
never met him.
All right. Thank you. I need to actually speak with Barnabus now.
His name is Sejong Iron-Tongue. He has taught many monks over the years. Would you like to learn some of their names, or perhaps learn about the teachings of the monastery?
Actually, I'm kind of in a rush. You see, the monastery was attacked, and many of them have been killed. So I need to get this message to the authorities here, and speak with Barnabas regarding some very interesting information. So time is a bit tight.
I see. Well, don't complain to me when your time is up.
All our time will be up soon, my friend. Thank you, Master Seth. Barnabas.
Mm-hmm. He's got his nose in a book.
You're gonna have to close that. I got a sending from Brennos. The monastery was being attacked. Many of the monks there are dead. I believe all our companions are fine, though. He said, Brennos said something strange that I haven't been able to understand. He said that the master requires freedom.
Well, we're all looking for freedom, so, it's just out of our grasp for all
Hold
of
on,
us.
I've got a good memory for this. He said the monastery is attacked, many killed, freedom needed for master. Retrieve amulet from Duraki, silver dragon. It needed to close Nexus.
Okay, he lifts his head, closes the book, places it down, looks at you for a second, goes, "Why?
Why what?
Why would we do any of these things?"
Well, I wouldn't want goblins coming up my rear arse when I'm working on a cannon, would I?
This sounds like a problem for the Dwarven Council.
Indeed.
If they would like us to solve their problem, well, our services are, of course, for sale.
Oh, well, I forgot my cannon. I can't find my mouse. Okay, here it is.
Eamon walks down the stack and just sort of listening to the conversation for about 5 feet away.
Then come with me. We need to figure this out. We're losing some time here, but once we get this sorted, I need to teleport to them, and apparently we need to find this dragon, Duaki.
Yes, you're the teleport spell. Have you been to the monastery?
That's a very good question, Marty. Have I been to the monastery?
I don't see why you'd ever been there, to be honest.
Well, you have no deity listed on your character sheet. You have no deity
No rank
listed.
in knowledge religion.
You are a ranger bombardier and no ranks in knowledge religion. I'm going to give you a 1 in 5 chance that you were there to pick up Brennos and that you may have been there once. So if you roll a 1 on a d5, you were there. Nope. And then do you have knowledge geography?
A sec. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you know how to get there. It's down a well-established path.
No, I rolled. How far can you see the monastery from?
I don't know.
don't think you can.
It's in the mountains. Depends on your vantage point.
If it's, I mean, the fastest way to say, like, okay, it's over those mountains. I can see that mountain. Boop. All right. It's past that mountain. Boop. There it
You
is.
could multiple teleport. Sight is usually like something like 24 miles. Like you could see that far, maybe a little bit further, with large landmarks. So you could multiple hop through a hex of 60 miles with, we'll say, 2 hops on a clear day.
I'm not
day.
10th level yet, so we've only got 2 hops in a day. And how far away is it?
Well, you could also just
22.
teleport to place. Well, actually, yeah, you have to actually be there. You're correct.
Knowledge 22. How far away is it?
I believe it's a hex away or 60 miles. Let me check. I can switch maps after I save. All right. Volcanica. Zoom you guys in.
I'm gonna ask Barnabas to come along, and we'll talk to the Dwarven
There's
Council.
Overlook, and it's 60 miles on the other side of the mountain. So basically, you're teleporting to a mountaintop to then look over the mountain. So it's 2 teleports if you're gonna do it via
2
site.
teleports.
Assuming good weather.
Is it good weather this morning?
We'll say high is bad weather. It's overcast.
So not that far. Okay, Barnabas. I would be able to get there quickly, but it'll take me at least a day. So why don't we go and discuss this with the council?
Well, we don't have access to the council, so what I'm going to suggest is we report to our actual employer, who does have access to the council, and he can direct us what he would like us, his employees, to do.
I'm typing up his next
Fair.
sentence. It sounds like
Fair enough.
teleporting here isn't happening in the 4 hours I'm going to give him before I'm going to get the what the fuck.
I'm thinking not.
No, it's not going to happen. No. So let's go.
Reporting this to the authorities is only the responsible thing to do.
Okay, so you're gonna go try to find Lord Dverak, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Gonna make me worship the evil man for multiple days, right?
I'm sorry. He doesn't know this is what it's doing to you.
First thing I'm going to ask if he could provide a sending scroll.
Okay, so
I can learn it.
Sunny right now in this block is communing with Eth to gain powers as an acolyte.
Shit ton of spells,
Yeah,
son.
yeah, exactly, a bunch of spells.
Look at the spells.
And then the people still in Overlook have 5 days of training left to do to get their 10th level. And then the people at the monastery are starting their training by touching the statue and interacting with the
dragon.
With the dragon.
Iron-Tongue.
Iron-Tongue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who then gives you exercises to go and do, and shares. You share past memories with him, and he tells you how you're fighting wrong.
Brennos only goes in to touch the thing and leaves. Like he doesn't spend any.
Yep.
Not.
He hides his head when he goes in to touch the thing.
All right, so
Don't look at me.
you are able to find. You're lucky. You could have spent the entire day looking for Lord Dverak, but you're able to find.
Oh no! We Barnabas finishes his day of studying because Lord Dverak's likely to be home at night or after supper around that time.
Okay. So 4 hours goes by. Brennos would.
Why spend the day looking for him around the city when you know this is where he goes at night?
Yeah, there's no response and there's nobody's teleported. You see Cog up on the wall, like watching for people to arrive, and
All right.
Thogrim Barnabas seems to be very moving, non-urgent manner.
He's moving like a dwarf
Barnabas.
with a human, but these are dwarves. Going
Barnabas.
Oh.
They asked us to hurry. When our friends ask us to hurry, we should hurry.
Did they say why?
No, there's not much. There's not many words in a spell.
Knowledge local. Does he know the dragon's been stuck in there for years?
Well, you don't know it's a dragon.
Or does he know the master's been stuck in there for years? Knowledge Arcana. Do I know it's a dragon?
No, give me a knowledge local Elsir Vale to see if you.
Can I use 10th level skills? Or no?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong page here. Switch to Barnabus. His knowledge Elsir Vale.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll take 10. That gives him 37 plus 1d6. He'll use an inspiration. So 42.
Okay, so you managed to piece together. You're like, wait a second. Dalthan was the monk in Sylvan Acres. Dalthan was an apprentice of Sejong Iron-Tongue, and yeah, the talking statue at the monastery. You know that the master's incapacitated somehow.
Okay. That master's been stuck forever. As for them, they'll be fine. They can hold the fort, and if not, they can run.
Yeah, you don't recall a time in recorded history like
where the master was out and about.
Yeah, you'd have to do some research to see how long ago this happened.
But it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm gonna go and look for him. Doesn't seem right. The monastery being attacked. I'm not gonna wait till night. I have to let them know now. Might not seem like much to us, but it might be important to them.
Oh no, it will be, but there's only so many people who listen to us. If you can find him, by all means. But we know where he'll be tonight.
I ask, what's his name? Come with me, and if we find your manservant guy,
Eamon?
Yeah, Eamon, come with me, and if we find him, please come and get Barnabas.
He blinks slowly. I'm here to protect Barnabas. I don't trust that librarian.
Him?
Yes.
I'm not solving this little problem. He's stepping out. He's gonna go look for him himself.
You get him sending.
Okay.
I put some madness into the back end. Where the hell are you? Where the hells are you? Sonny Ordini has freedom. Dwaki is in Foundry. Tell Smarty Pants sleep at midnight. Brennos. And his favorite bud drinker.
Okay, you notice that Thogrim's like listening to something.
Okay.
Humans on the planet that can be like, you're not supposed to get extra words in that, right? Like a service charge, really.
The god of madness does what it wants. Or the mad god, I guess.
The mad god of knowledge and cruelty.
Thogrim's response. Freedom understood. Finding what's our master name? Or our employer's name?
Dverak?
Lord Dverak.
Getting spells. Looking for spells.
It's so interesting when you were very spellcasty, but you have no spellcraft. Like, God's telling me how to do it.
I played that guy, yeah.
I listened to the creepy guy hiding behind the statue about how the spell works.
That was Azildan was like, yes, I know spells, but bow and arrows.
Oh, dude, I found a druid spell. It's horrible. Fickle winds. You're just immune to arrows.
You
Nice.
shoot arrows, but you can't be shot with arrows.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's nice.
You take it, the enemies will take it.
I fully understand. So I took it, but I'll let you know when it gets cast. It's still one of those like, oh, it's just a theory at this point.
Because that would neutralize an entire character of yours.
They would two builds. It's just you can't attack the people with that spell up. It's a wind wall that's just a portable wind wall that's around you that only affects. It's only one way.
I would hope that it's at least like target personal.
It might need some tweaking because it's currently like one creature per.
Here's the
Oh
response.
my god!
It's a party
So,
buff. Yeah.
oh,
Freedom understood. Finding Dverak, looking for spells, will arrive tomorrow. How find Dwaki? Sleep midnight understood.
Okay, so Barnabas, you only hear the Thogrim end of this. You don't know what the...
I guess spellcraft to know what he's.
Was there
going
any
on.
extra bits added to that message?
Yeah,
I can play with that.
Give me a
Sure.
second. I'll add it.
The Sleep Midnight means that I want to use. I think he probably understands that there's the dream power that I probably want to use, which is more of his stuff. I might bring a mad god into one of your minds, guys.
Sleep, the chance to... Just this weird staticky scream.
Oh. That's my favorite thing to do when I'm sleeping.
Hey, randomly. Long time, my friend.
All right, so it was like loud, like whatever that was at the end was just bad. It was the type of static you couldn't concentrate or even speak through. You know when you hear your own
I know
voice.
about the mind of a derro, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know when you hear yourself speak, sometimes like it's hard to process and continue to. Yeah.
Yep.
AKA, you get back in the Zoom call.
Yeah, exactly. Who has A, the shit audio setup, B, is typing with the clackiest keyboard, C, it's coming from you, bud. when you mute, it's all good.
I got another one from him. Said, where the hell are you? Sonny ODD has freedom. Dwaki is in Foundry. Tell Smarty Pants, that's you. Sleep at midnight.
Yeah, well, I can do that. Sure.
You heard my response. I'm gonna go and look for him.
Oh, if you find Lord Dverak, well, you know what to tell him.
Yes.
Otherwise, I will join you this evening.
Isn't that an interesting mushroom, Mistra?
I go and try to find Lord Dverak with
All right.
urgency.
So, I'm going to switch back to...
Dverak! I fire some cannon off in the middle of town. Stop firing when he comes.
Oh, I've got his tokens here. Give me a second.
I'll push for cannon control.
Knowledge local, Elsir Vale, diplomacy check to ask where he is.
We already know this guy doesn't talk to no one. He couldn't talk a gnome out of a bar.
20.
There you go.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, you're asking directions?
Yeah.
You get some people that know Lord Dverak and they don't. they don't seem to want to help you. It's maybe not out of fear. It's like, where does the Prime Minister live? Like that sort of thing. It's like, yeah, no, we're not helping that dude. If you don't know, then you don't need to know. You get a lot of like
that was a nat 20.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're encountering people that just in general, you wandering around the streets where they're common folk, and you're asking, where does Lord Dverak live? Is that effectively how you're trying to find him?
I live